What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Deep Thought. My name's Hasib, and let's get into today's topic. So, today's topic is going to be a little different. I'm going to make this into a sort of series of just different references and explanations and viewpoints of the dualities that exist within our world. The dualities around us in our everyday lives and within ourselves. So I'm going to start off with a pretty basic one, and the first duality that I want to talk about is the duality between good and evil. Right, so we all understand what the two concepts are. We believe that good comes from a place of from a place of loving, as well as a place of understanding. Right, we believe that the goodness in ourselves and other people is this feeling that we have inside of ourselves, and that's primarily what we believe it is. And then we think that the bad is actually the things that we feel whenever we do something either wrong or we do something that makes us feel guilty or resentful, hateful towards maybe ourselves or another person. So the two, now I'm keeping this in the perspective of people. So this is a single person. This could be you for the purpose of just this explanation. It could be you. Because the goodness within yourself is classified as good by the things that you do and the way that you feel about the things that you do. The tasks you perform, the acts of generosity that you might actually perform for someone else, that is the good side. And the bad side are the bad things that you do, such as insult people in a spurt of anger, or something along those lines. Now, these are two dualities that exist in our everyday life that we don't necessarily see as one. We have them separated because we don't like to believe that the bad part is a part of who we are. So these dualities exist within a single being, so that means they are actually one and the same. Now, I know some people don't want to hear that because you don't want to be affiliated with a negative, being a bad person per se, and that's quite all right. I mean, I don't think any of us actually like to go around feeling like a bad person, or that we've done something wrong, or that we've lied, or done something and hidden it from someone else, but we do. And what we fail to understand is that this is what makes us human. This is also what plays a very large role in our life, just as much as the good in our life. So another example of the duality of good and evil is obviously in films. We have cinema films that create a good guy and a bad guy. A great one, a great example of this would actually be the Avengers and Thanos. Now, everybody believes that Thanos is the bad guy, right? I mean, I'm not arguing that, because everybody makes him out to be the bad guy in their own perspective. The way that they paint him, he is a villain. He's not a good person. He is a bad person. So we look at all the Avengers and we think, oh, those are good people. Those are the ones that are helping humanity. Those are the ones that are doing all these wonderful things, trying to fight back against Thanos, who is the necessary evil or villain or bad within the universe itself. Because at this point in the series of the Avengers, you know, it is a universal plot. This is the universe plotting with itself. So the good and the bad are colliding right now with the Avengers and the Thanos, the good and the evil, or the good and the bad, and the villainous. And we look at the Avengers as if, they're trying to save people, and they are, to an extent. And we look at the man Thanos, or the villain, alien, whatever you want to call him, as a bad person. Now, why do we do this? Why are we looking at Thanos in a way and believe that he is a villain, a horrible person, a horrible human being, a horrible being in existence in general? The reason we do that is because we don't believe his course of action is the right course of action. Now, this is where our dualities come into play, because of our own conditioning, our own morality and ethics that we've created within our own mind. We believe that Thanos is evil because we don't actually understand his actions from his perspective. So we like to point the finger and say, he's the bad guy. He's the villain. He is the being of absolute evil. And the Avengers are the good guys. Now, I bring this up because this is, one, going to resonate with a whole lot of you, because everybody's seen that movie. Everybody understands, or everybody thinks, that Thanos is the villain and that the Avengers are the good guys. Now, I want to ask you, what if that wasn't true? What if instead both sides were good and both sides were evil? Because what we have to take into consideration is that, one, the Avengers are fighting for humanity. Humans, only humans, and I guess supposedly for the galaxy, but that can also be looked in a way and seen from a perspective of evil, because they are doing whatever it takes to fight off another necessary evil. So how far are they going to have to go? Are they going to have to kill somebody and essentially rip them out of the existence of the universe? Now, we don't actually know the answer to this question. I'm sure the film's coming out sometime later, but the same could be looked at with Thanos. So Thanos is over here, and the backstory to him is he is trying to do things for his people. He was trying to do the same thing to save his people because there was an overpopulation crisis, and what he had done, and bear with me here because I know some people are going to assume that wiping out half the planet or half the population is a very sinister and evil thing to do. Now, we only see that from a perspective of evil nature. We see it because he essentially killed or wiped out half of the population of his own people. And we think anybody who does that is a horrible, horrible being. Now, but there's a reason behind it. So behind his perspective, he was actually saving part of his population by wiping out the other half, because if he hadn't, his entire race would have been wiped out. So, going from there is a duality in his actions, because he believed that he was doing the right thing. He was the good guy. And he still believes that he is still the good guy because he is going around wanting and attempting to wipe out half the population within the universe again to help it sustain itself. Now, what he doesn't realize is that he is the only one that sees it that way. The Avengers don't see it that way, and they are going out of their way to attack him and stop him and thwart any plan that he has to do this. See, so within this, within just the film itself, within the cinema, it shows that he and the Avengers are actually two sides of the same coin, because they're fighting for something very different in their own perspectives. the Avengers are fighting to save every single being of existence in the universe, whereas Thanos is fighting to save races within the universe from dying off. So eventually, what he believes will happen is if the Avengers actually win, there will be an overpopulation crisis, and that the universe will, in and of itself, implode essentially at some point, and that every race within the galaxy or known universe, will be destroyed. That there will be no life left within the universe, and it will be empty, and that there will be nothing left. So we can see here that both sides do believe that they are good, and both sides see the other as bad. So the dualities of good and bad, the good and evil, are actually one. They are one and the same. They do not. They are not opposites or different from one another. Everything is based on a matter of perspective. So, when you look at yourself and the things that you've done, the good deeds and the bad deeds, for you to be a little more aware and conscious that it's okay for those things to happen, is to understand that they're both one and the same. Any action that we take in the pursuit of what is better for everybody else and for yourself is also recognizably a horrible thing for other people that are seeing it from a different perspective. So this here is one of the beauties of the dualities in our existence right now. And this is essentially where I'm going to leave off with this video, because I feel like that's more than enough food for thought for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to share this with your friends, let them know, spread around the awareness to understand the dualities of the good and evil, or the good and bad within the existence of our own universe. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys later. Bye guys.